Hello guys and welcome back to Car Obsession. Regular viewers will know that as part of my reviews I do a segment called Ask Aaron. The idea is very simple. I get you lovely viewers to submit questions for whichever car I'm testing. As you can tell by the title of this video, it is all about the brand new facelifted Suzuki Ignis. Now the reason why I'm doing this as a standalone video and not shoehorning it into the review is because that video was quite long. I didn't want to make it any longer, so I thought actually let me answer your questions in a separate video. Now if you are new to my channel, hello, thank you for joining me. My name's Aaron and I'm your master of ceremonies. Now before I get stuck into this video, I've got a bit of admin to go through, a bit of housekeeping.
Housekeeping?
Okay.
Okay.
The first order of business is my MacBook Pro. Now if you or someone you know is able to fix the screens on a MacBook Pro, then please get in touch because this has happened to mine. If I bring the device to you, as you can see I've got this nasty line going down the screen. Long story short, I inadvertently dropped one of my portable hard drives and it collided with the bottom of the screen. So yes, if you can fix this, let me know. For context, this is a 2015 model, 15-inch, and it has got the Retina display. I don't want to spend too much money though because it's quite an old device. In fact, I think it's more fit for a museum than it is the top of my lap, but that's by the by. The second order of business is, don't forget guys, I now have my own line of merch. So be sure to check it out. There we are, here's one of the t-shirts. There we are. Now, fear not, there are other designs available, just in case you happen to be the kind of person that doesn't like a Mazda MX-5. If you are, then you need to have your head looked into because they're epic, but I know there are some people out there that think, oh, MX-5 is a hairdresser's car and they've got as much power as a food blender. But yes, if you don't like MX-5s, then there are other designs available. Speaking of which, where can you find them? Well, head over to controlandshift.com. I will pop the link in the video description below. Now, when you do purchase a t-shirt, I get a little bit of profit, therefore I get more money to help fund the channel. So it is a win-win. You get a quality t-shirt and I get a bit of money back as well. The third order of business is Carly. Now I have teamed up with the German company Carly. They produce OBD readers and I can now bring you a discount code. So if you're on the market for a good quality OBD reader, then I would recommend you to check out Carly. Please use the link in the video description below. And until the end of February, you can get 10% off if you use the following discount code. And it's quite simple, Car Obsession. There we are. You couldn't get any more simpler than that. And like with the merchandise, I get a bit of money back. So again, you'll be helping to support the channel and you'll also be saving money. So again, it is a win-win. Anyway, let's move things on to the main topic in hand, which is of course the Suzuki Ignis. Normally I would shoehorn this segment in the review, but because that video is quite long, I thought I'd actually do this as a separate video. Now, thank you so much for those who have submitted your questions. It is much appreciated, so let's go through them. All right, pick up my battered MacBook Pro. So here we go. What's new about it? Well, the new Ignis has got new colours, a revised look, an improved mild hybrid system, and the option of a CVT gearbox. Now, I've not tried the CVT gearbox, but from my experience of driving other CVTs, I would probably recommend you don't go for it. I'm yet to drive a CVT which I actually like. On the whole, they're mostly rubbish in my opinion. But some people like them, and there are pros of having that particular transmission, but I'm just not a fan. I'd rather stick with the 5-speed manual. And of course you'd be saving a bit of money by doing so. Next question. My girlfriend says it looks like a dog doing a poo. I disagree, do you? Well, firstly, your girlfriend's got quite the imagination, probably not being used to the best of its ability. But no, I don't think that the Suzuki Ignis looks like a dog doing a poo. Now, don't get me wrong, some of the styling is a bit iffy. The rear end, for example, even on the facelift, it's not, the rear end is not the car's best angle. It's almost as if they finished the car, it was coming out of the production line, then all of a sudden it got reversed into a brick wall. It's very kind of flat, isn't it? It's got no kind of style to it. It's not slab-sided, but compare it to the rest of the car, it just looks a bit out of proportion. The rest of the car I do like. I think it is a bold, quirky, funky car, but the rear end is definitely a letdown for me. But I certainly wouldn't say it looks like a dog. Looks like a dog doing a poo. So that's quite an interesting one. Is it fun to drive? It can be. However, if you want a small Suzuki that is fun to drive, I would urge you to take a look at the Swift Sport, if your budget allows. Going back to the Ignis though, it can be fun. However, if I were to buy an Ignis, I would probably opt for the two-wheel drive version and not the all-grip version, the four-wheel drive version. The reason being, the two-wheel drive version, it's lighter, and in the corners it just feels a bit more playful, a bit more interactive. The four-wheel drive version, on the other hand, it feels a little bit too grown up, maybe dare I say a little bit too sensible in the corners. That will of course appeal to some, and of course the prospect of having a four-wheel drive system in a car of that size again is bound to appeal. If you live in the rural area but you don't want something big or something expensive, but you still want to have that extra traction, then yes, the Ignis is definitely worth looking at. That's not to say it's got the same go-anywhere ability as its cousin, the Jimny, which sadly has been killed off for the time being. It may return as a commercial vehicle, but yeah, the Ignis was never designed to be an out-and-out off-roader like the Jimny. So I think to compare those two cars isn't a fair comparison. They are similarly sized cars, but for different audiences and different purposes. Does it have all the grip in the world? So let me rephrase that. Does it have all the grip in the world? All the grip in the world. Oh, because it's called the all grip. I see what you did there. No, it hasn't got all the grip in the world, but I think it may surprise you, bearing in mind it is on skinny tyres. The cross section is only 175 millimeters, so they're not fat tyres. And I drove the car in quite damp, cold conditions, but even so, in the corners, I definitely had confidence in the grip. And of course, that helps. That, like I said, well, I'm pretty sure I said it. The version I tested had the all grip four-wheel drive system, so it was beneficial to have that extra traction. But like I say, I'd probably go for the front wheel drive version just because it feels a bit more playful. Yeah, as I said, it's not an out and out off-roader, but if you want to do a bit of soft roading or you live in more rural conditions, then I think the all grip version could be the one for you. The only thing I would say about the cornering is that the grip inspires confidence, but in my opinion the brakes don't. I think they're just, I wouldn't say they're spongy, they just haven't got as much bite as I would like. And the last question, performance. Well, the Ignis, I think it's very safe to say, it's not a car that was designed for performance. Now, put it this way, the 1.2 litre naturally aspirated petrol engine produces just 83 horsepower and 107 newton meters of torque. That alone should signify this is not a car for setting your pulses racing. But you have asked the question, therefore I will answer it. Now, in regard to 0 to 62 times, it would take almost 13 seconds. Yes, 12.8 to be more specific. So it isn't a fast car. Having said that, I think the 12.8 seconds does the car a disservice, because when you're driving in and around town, the car feels perfectly nippy and it feels quite peppy. On faster roads, yes, the lack of power is exposed more, but I drove it on a fast A road and I had no issue overtaking traffic. So yeah, I've got no issues there. But yeah, it's not a car designed for performance. It's a small, light car designed to be, well, cheap to run really, and it is. So speaking of which, and let me move more onto the economy side of things, because I think that's actually a more, a more appropriate statistic to bring to you. Now, on a combined run, Suzuki states that the Ignis can offer up to 51.9 mpg, pretty impressive. However, when I had the car, I actually did one run which I got 58 mpg, so even better. In regard to CO2 emissions, the engine emits 123 grams per kilometre, meaning for the first year of VED, you will be required to pay £165. Now, if you are interested in the top speed, which I haven't mentioned as of yet, that is 103 miles per hour. But let's face it, who is really going to be maxing out a Suzuki Ignis? Is not the type of car you're going to take for a blast on the Autobahn, is it? So, yeah, a pretty meaningless stat there, if I'm going to be honest. Anyway, that is all the questions done and dusted. Hopefully this has been a relatively short and sweet video. Now, speaking of Suzuki, let me close my laptop. Speaking of Suzuki, tomorrow I'm taking delivery of the all-new Across, which I believe was designed and built in partnership with Toyota. I may have got that wrong. I need to do more research on the car, but it's an SUV. Of course, it's an SUV. Pretty much any brand new car coming to the market is an SUV nowadays. So I'll have that for a week. Then I'll be giving that back. Then I'll be throwing the keys to the Suzuki Swace. I think that's how you pronounce it. Swace, Swash, Swash, Swace. Who knows? Well, Suzuki do. That is an estate car. Again, I need to do more research on that, but I will of course do that so that way I can bring you the most informative review possible. Moving away from Suzuki, after that I'll be testing the brand new Audi A3 Saloon, which is kind of funny because that is the car I should have right now. It was delivered a few days ago, but sadly my wife was showing signs of COVID-19, therefore both her and I had to self-isolate, which meant that the car was delivered, but before I could even touch it or drive it, Audi had to take it away, because obviously if you're self-isolating, I can't go out, I can't be filming YouTube videos, and I can't be filming car reviews, can I? But yes, that car has now been booked back in towards the end of February, and also around that time I'll be heading up to Coventry because I will be testing the brand new Citroen C4. So there's going to be a plethora of content coming your way. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you are subscribed, don't forget to click the bell so you don't miss any of my videos. But apart from that, it's really time for me to finish. I do hope you have enjoyed this video. If so, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. If you are subscribed, as I said, don't forget to click the bell icon so you get notified every time I make a video. But until the next time, guys, be sure to keep up the car obsession.